I'll have to agree with you, my friend. Beer in each hand, thinking about the beach. It's wonderful.
I can see it. I can feel it, man. You and I glistening in the sun, enjoying our Coronas. This is probably our biggest can versus bottle video yet, and the one that we're the most excited about up to now. We're going to decide today whether we like Corona in a can or whether we like Corona in a bottle a little bit better. We just finished filming our review episode of Corona Extra, where we reviewed Corona out of the can for numerous reasons. So as you might have seen in our Heineken Why Does It Smell a Little Bit Skunky video, and as we've mentioned a couple of other times, when you have a beer that's in a clear bottle like this, the light getting through to the beer, it causes some off flavors in the beer and it changes it a little bit and it gives us that skunky flavor, gives it a little bit of extra things that aren't there necessarily in the can that's sealed off in non-transparent aluminum like this. So what are we going to think about the bottle? The can itself, Alessandro gave it a 2.33 on 5 in our review. If you haven't seen the review, check it out down below. I gave it a 3 on 5. Corona is one of my favorite beers, so I had a lot of nostalgia going back to this. It's my favorite travel beer. And that's why I've got my travel fishing hat on. Traditionally, and I'm sure most people out there have only had it out of the bottle. I mean, if you go to a bar and you order a Corona, most of the time they'll bring you a bottle of Corona with a wedge of lime in there, right? That's kind of the standard way of serving it. We're not going to do the lime. We're going to go straight just out of the can, out of the bottle, see which one we like better. We're going to compare all our different review elements. So we're going to have the aroma, we're going to have the taste, we're going to have the mouthfeel, finish overall. We're going to go through them really quickly and see which one is going to win this battle of the Mexican cervezas. We will find out. Let's get into it. So guys, what we're going to do is we're going to pour out about a third of each one into our tasting glasses here. So particularly, I can stick my big nose in there to get the aromas.
There we are. And I mean, the bottle, I was just pouring out of the bottle. It's so iconic. It just reminds you of the beach and being on the beach.
Oh, it reminds you of the beach, man. I know.
Ooh, okay.
So first thing I'm noticing is that skunky aroma out of the bottle is so strong.
It's everywhere in the room.
It's everywhere in the room, exactly. Yeah, it just kind of takes over. It's so present. So that's going to have a major effect on the beer. Are these elements, this kind of skunkiness, everything that's brought on, all these off flavors that are brought on by the transparent bottle, is it going to influence our decision in a positive way? We're going to find out. Should we get right into the aroma and see what we think between the two?
Let's do it, my friend. Cheers. Aroma
Let's do it. Aroma cheers. Double aroma cheers.
Double aroma cheers. So yeah, on this way more than on the Heineken, I do get that skunkiness coming through, like potent. So I will say that while on the Heineken it was kind of like adding a little bit here. I don't know if it's almost like overpowering a little bit for me.
Yeah.
So I think that I'm gonna go with the can on this. Like aroma, just strictly on the aroma, I would rather drink the can.
Yeah, on the can you definitely get the breadiness. The breadiness, like we talked about in the review, is the predominant thing that you get on the aroma. And with the bottle, all you get is that skunkiness.
Yeah.
It's so strong. And this is poured out into a glass, guys. This isn't straight out of the bottle, right? So we're letting it breathe a little bit. We're letting it kind of air out. And once you let it out of that bottle, that skunkiness is overpowering. So I'm going to go with the can as well. I think the can is the winner for the aroma. Let's get into the taste. And let's see. This is the interesting one. The taste is going to be the interesting one.
Cheers.
Double cheers, my friend. Let me know which one you prefer. Because if I'm not mistaken, you gave the taste on the can in our review a 1 on 3.
I did. So, strictly on the taste,
Yeah.
I think that, and I'm trying to be, you really gotta focus just on the taste, because there's some other things happening here that are, but really just thinking about the taste, I think they are similar, but.
Are you going with the draw? You're not going with the draw, are you?
I'm torn here. Like, I'm thinking, like, I think I might, you know what? I think I might, for the first time, I think I might say it. Like, yeah, to me, they're actually equal. Just on the taste, just not talking about mouthfeel, not talking about the finish. I think I'm gonna hold off here. Like, they're pretty equal to me.
So you're going with a draw? Wow. Okay, so, and you know what? I agree with what you said. I think this calls for a deep concentration. And I think we have to do a little bit of beer meditation. And with this beer meditation, almost like a beer yoga, I think we need to just clear our minds a little bit. We need to concentrate. We need to visualize ourselves on the beach. I think you need to visualize yourself on the boat with your fishing rod. Yeah, no, I like that. You got to hold up the two. With your fishing rod out into the water, the sound of the waves hitting the side of the boat, the crack of the opening of the Corona bottle, and then the sip. Yeah.
I can hear the ocean in the glass.
You're imagining it, man. It's not real. All right. I have a verdict. I'm going to go with the bottle. For me, the bottle is the winner on the taste. And I kind of hinted at this in the review, where out of the can, you get the breadiness, you get a slight little bit of bitterness, barely anything, but that's about it. The bottle, those off flavors caused by the transparent glass, gives it that extra bitterness, that skunkiness, so to speak. And that bitterness, it gives it an extra dimension. And that's kind of what I associate. And I think most people who are used to drinking Corona out of the bottle will associate with it that bitterness that comes from the skunkiness that the bottle produces. It's part of that kind of thirst quenching, refreshing taste that I associate with Corona. So for me, the bottle is the winner on taste. Let's go right into mouthfeel. Is there a difference in the mouthfeel for you? And if so, which one do you prefer?
Sorry, let me refresh those.
Yeah, we got to do a refresher.
Because
right.
We don't want to forget anything here.
We never want to forget anything.
So on this, I don't have to think too much about it. I'm gonna go with the can. It has a little bit extra carbonation. The bottle appears at least like a little bit more flat. Like they're very similar. We're talking really about splitting hairs here, but the can has a little bit more carbonation, which appeals to me more. So I'm gonna go with the can here.
I mean, you can see that can bottle. I'm gonna hold this up. You can see the difference in carbonation. Right now it's not that much, but look at the size of the head of my two glasses. You can definitely see that the can is a little bit more carbonated than the bottle. And carbonation does have a big effect in the mouthfeel, of course. Yeah. This is a tough one because the bottle is less carbonated, but it's a little bit more bitter because of that skunkiness. So you get that tingling on your tongue a little bit more from the acidity, the bitterness. So there's two completely different elements that are lacking from one to the other that the others have. I'm going to have to agree with you, and I'm going to have to go with the can, because while the bottle has the bitterness and that tingling on the tongue, it doesn't have the carbonation. And this is just a much more pleasant, refreshing mouthfeel. So the can is getting another point here. Let's move on to the finish, good sir. Which finish do you prefer? And why?
Yeah, this calls for some beer meditation. I think that's the right word, my friend. We need to really focus, be mindful about the moment.
Epic focus. I think this is the most mindful place I could possibly be in right here. I think my focus is rather astute.
I'll have to agree with you, my friend. Beer in each hand, thinking about the beach. It's wonderful.
I can see it. I can feel it, man. You and I glistening in the sun, enjoying our Coronas.
With the sunset. Yeah, it's right there. So, finish. I have to go with the bottle. because that bitterness, that skunkiness, definitely more overpowering compared to other beers we've had, but it adds that element, which to me was not as present on the mouthfeel, but on the finish is clear as it can be. So on that, like the finish, the bottle wins, like for sure.
Yeah, the bottle is a clear winner on the finish. Excuse me, I agree. The finish on the can, you don't get much. You get a little bit of the bitterness, like we mentioned in the review. The bitterness comes out in the finish for the can. With the bottle, you get the bitterness, but you get that sort of acidity from the skunkiness. And you still get, a little bit of the hops, you still get a little bit of the breadiness, but there's an extra added element there that is really, really, really nice. And it gives it a little more presence. I'm going to use that word with this, presence. The bottle has much more presence on the finish. Now it comes down to the big one, Alessandro. As an overall beer experience, do you prefer Mexico's Corona Extra Cerveza in a can or in a bottle?
Well, this is a tough one, but I think I know the answer here, and it's definitely the bottle. Definitely the bottle.
How come? Tell me. Summarize it for us.
Yeah, I probably, like you said, components are nostalgia and previous experiences, but I think that when it comes down to it, the finish really is what is setting it apart. And while yes, the aroma and the taste were like maybe a little subtle there, like, and the carbonation adds a little bit more to the can, the finish is what's setting it apart. And I would like to point out that the aroma, normally when you're drinking it out of the bottle with the lime or also without the lime, you're not going to get a lot of that experience. So
True.
To be fair, if we just look at that, and if you look at my rating, like, I'm leaning definitely towards the bottle. So if you take off the aroma, even if I give it a draw, like, I'm still going to prefer the bottle. So I know that technically I'm right there in the middle, but I'm going to give the bottle a winner here.
No, that's a super good point, and I'm glad you brought that up, because normally you're not going to get, if you're at a restaurant and you're served Corona in a bottle, you're not going to pour it out into a glass. You might maybe pour it out into a glass with a lime, but to be honest, how often does that happen, right? Yeah. So when you're drinking it straight out of the bottle, you're not going to get that super overpowering skunky aroma that made us go with the can for the aroma. So that's a really good point to bring up. For myself, as an overall, I got to go with the bottle as well. This was a lot closer than some other can versus bottle battles that we've done. You know what I think? Corona in a can is a really nice, refreshing, light Pilsner. Really, really nice. Corona in a bottle is Corona. This is the true essence of drinking a Corona, is out of a bottle. They're very different. We've been taking these mysteries that have been plaguing mankind for decades and decades, and we've been doing the hard work to solve them and to come up with an answer for our audience. So if you were ever wondering, Corona in a can, Corona in a bottle, which one is preferable? Which one is better? According to us, our own personal opinions, it's the bottle, friends. Cheers, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. Let us know down below what you think. Do you prefer Corona in a can? Do you prefer Corona in a bottle? If so, why? Cheers, guys. If you haven't checked out our review of Corona, click the link down below in the description, and we'll see you guys soon.
Cheers. Don't forget to close your Corona beer brackets. What are you going to close them with? The can or the bottle? Cheers.